So we are hearing it a lot right now that the housing market's going to crash. It's gone up so high, so inevitably it has to go back down. Foreclosures are going to hit the market in waves, and we're going to be able to pick up those sweet deals for the low in St. Augustine. Well, if you're looking for more information about foreclosures in St. Augustine, we're going to get after it right now. What's up, everybody? This is Thomas with Keller Williams here in St. Augustine, Florida. And if you're looking for everything you need to know about eating, working, sleeping, and all the foreclosures here in St. Augustine, Florida, then this is the video for you. So tap that subscribe button below, like the video, and if you have any additional questions, go ahead and leave me a comment. We got new videos coming out every single week, so make sure you subscribe so you're getting all the updated information here on St. Augustine. If you have any further needs in real estate, go ahead and reach out to me directly, whether that's a call, a text, or email. It all goes directly to my phone, and I'm the guy answering it. So go ahead and reach out to me at call, text, or email. I'm here for you. One thing as an agent in my profession, and many agents in a whole bunch of different places, but definitely here in St. Augustine, is we're facing a little bit of buyer hesitancy. And it's a lot of times from people that are living here locally. They've seen prices go up way beyond what they think houses are available for. But people relocating here still find our area to be a deal. So we're running into people saying that, you know what, I'm just going to hold off. I'm going to wait until the market crashes. They think it's going to happen tomorrow just because they saw what happened in 2008, 2009. They think it's a repeat of what's happening today in our appreciation of prices, especially here locally in St. Augustine. 20% within a year is a very large amount. That's not typical. They think that it's going to be a 2008, 2009 situation where, really at that point, they were giving out mortgages to anyone who had a pulse. There were some really bad lending practices, and that's what really created our housing market crash back in the day. So they see the price appreciation today and they're like, oh man, this is going to happen. But this is actually just a natural flow of supply and demand. Mortgage rates are super low, so people want to eat those up while they are there. And on top of that, because of COVID and government and many other factors, people have started to realign their values and where they want to live. So northeastern Florida has become a very attractive option for a lot of people to relocate to. So to kind of set the stage of what's going on here today in our local market, of course nationally as well, is mortgage practices have really tightened up. There's been rules and regulations put there to protect the consumer because of what happened in the past, and we don't want that happening again. So it's actually very, very difficult to get a mortgage today. If you've tried, you know how much paperwork goes into it, and if you've been denied, you know how close you were. I mean, the credit score, is at 640 now, and they've been going higher and higher because of what's happened this past year. So they're tightening it up consistently, and it's much more difficult to get a mortgage today than it was back in 2008, 2009. Now also to give you an idea of our local market here, 37% of buyers are relocating here from another area. So that's 1 out of every 3 buyers is coming here to our northeastern Florida region. That's not just St. Augustine, that's Jacksonville as well, and Palm Coast. So that entire northeastern Florida region, 1 in 3 people are relocating here from a different area. That's a pretty large statistic, and also that's affecting our population, where we are having a population growth as well with so many people relocating here. Another thing that plays into this, and something that you should think of when you're thinking this wave of foreclosures is coming, is 1 in 4 offers in our market right now is a cash offer. And I imagine that to be a very conservative number. I imagine it's a little bit above that. So that means that 25% of the homes that are being bought today are being bought with straight cash. So there's no banks involved. So it's an individual buyer and a seller agreeing with an amount of money. There's no loan terms. It's just, here's the cash, take it, and this is what I want for the house. So why is our market so hot? There are a couple of different reasons. One of them is going to be COVID, one of them is going to be government, and also one of them is going to be a realignment of what we see as important in our home. One of the main reasons people relocated to our area and are continuing to decide to is because of COVID. Last year we did have a mass relocation to our area because of what was going on in the major cities, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. A lot of these northeastern cities were the epicenter of the pandemic. Rates were skyrocketing, and it's very congested. So a lot of the people that had money were able to leave the city and go buy somewhere else where they had a little bit more space. It was a little bit more not as congested as the subways in the city or the streets in New York City. And honestly, how could you blame a lot of people? With what was going on in New York, it was much different than it was here in Florida. With the refrigerant trucks with bodies piling up there, we didn't have that down here. So we really reacted to COVID a lot differently, and that goes into our government as well, which I'll cover too. Whether you love or you hate what happened here with the lockdowns in Florida, I believe our government made the right choice, and I think a lot of people decided that they wanted to move down here because of the government here in the area. A lot of people I talked to on the phone said that they're either escaping taxes or they're escaping the lockdowns, something like that to that nature. So a lot of people found this attractive. So whether you think it was a good idea or a bad idea, right now our unemployment right now in Florida is around 3%. So I understand being safe, but we just didn't have the same kind of effect that New York City did or Philadelphia did, because it's just a lot more spread apart area. The third thing is really going to be a realignment of values. I feel that people really have changed since COVID, and it's kind of forced it upon us. But realigning maybe that living in New York City is not the most important thing, especially when you can work from home now. You can live anywhere. Maybe it's the space that you have for your office, or the second living room that you need for either your kids' playroom or a schooling room for them to do Zoom calls. For me, myself personally, do I need to go into the office anymore? I could do everything on Zoom. I could have all my meetings through Zoom, through the internet. COVID really pushed us into a different world where we all started realigning what's important. Is it worth the trek on the subway to go an hour into the city when you can just stay at home and do the same exact work? Fast food companies can't find employees. People are deciding that they want different things in this life, and I really think COVID put that in perspective. Guys, I hope you are getting a little bit of value out of this video. If you are, do me that solid and tap that subscribe button below, like the video, and comment if you have any additional questions about foreclosures or any other things in the market here that I might be able to answer. Like I said, we got new videos coming out every week, so make sure you subscribe so that you're staying updated on everything going on here in St. Augustine. What does this have to do with foreclosures? Well, naturally, a lot of people think that foreclosures are coming because of COVID. I mean, COVID, it decimated a lot of things. It left a lot of unemployment, it left a lot of people without a lot of money and security. So naturally, people are feeling that foreclosures are going to come and that they're going to scoop up the deal on the bottom end. Their loss is their gain. Well, here in St. Augustine, like I just covered, a lot of those things aren't more than likely not going to happen. Like I said before, unemployment is around 3% right now. So if you did lose your job, you more than likely found another job or maybe even a better job. Fast food companies still can't hire anyone, but hopefully they found another better job. One of the main reasons that there will not be a major wave of foreclosures, at least as of right now, is because of the CARES Act that the federal government put in place last year during the heat of the pandemic to protect homeowners. Which essentially said that if you have a government-backed loan, you can enter a forbearance program, which will allow you to put your payments towards the end of the life of the loan. So if you stop paying your monthly payment in the middle of the year last year, let's say it was June, and then you started paying in January, you have 6 months of mortgage that you did not pay. You stopped paying, you weren't paying for that time, that would then be tacked on to the end of the life of your loan. So it would essentially become a 6-month longer loan in the forbearance program. Now, this is covering about 70% of all the mortgages here in the United States. I'm not sure how that boils down into Florida, but I imagine it's roughly around 70%. So that's an FHA, VA, or USDA loan. So any government-backed loan was able to enter that program. And as of right now, it has not stopped. So anyone that could have possibly went into foreclosure because of the situation going on with COVID or prior entered that forbearance program, so now they don't have to. Foreclosures also take a long time to process. So just think of it yourself as if you were paying your mortgage and you happen to miss a payment by a day, well, the bank is going to give you a little bit of a grace period. Typically they'll allow you up to 15 days to make a payment before they consider it late. But they're not going to start the foreclosure process until you've entered default. Default happens after 30 days after you've missed payment. And even then, at that point, you could still talk to the bank and hopefully they wouldn't send you into foreclosure. with all the government backing and the programs of the CARES Act, why would you enter into foreclosure when you have the forbearance program available to you today? So for any of this to even happen, the buyer has to default first. And like I said, with the forbearance program, that's probably not happening right now, or at least since 2020. So the only foreclosures we would see today would be from 2 years ago. So there are a couple of steps in the foreclosure process. First, you have to default. That's that 30 days of a missed payment. And then you're going to get a notice of your default from a local judge. More than likely here in Florida is going to be a judge. And then you're also going to be in a pre-foreclosure period. So that's the time when they tell you that you're in default to the time that they sell the home to recuperate on the balance of the mortgage. Then also you're going to run into the sale of the home at the end, where they're going to notify you, hey, this house is being foreclosed on, you need to move out. So let's put this in perspective. Let's say that you bought a home during the pandemic. Let's say you bought it right before the pandemic last year, so January of last. So let's put the very worst scenario out there. You bought a home in January of last year, right before the pandemic happened, and you're doing well, and then all of a sudden the pandemic happens and you lose your job. Well, in that scenario, you would be backed up, because and especially if you use a government-backed mortgage, you'd be able to enter into the CARES Act program and go into forbearance. And right now, it seems for as long as you need. We've already been almost over a year in the forbearance program until you're able to continue to make those mortgage payments again. So if you're missing out that whole year, let's say they went from March to March of this year of not having a job and not being able to pay their mortgage, they're backed up by that forbearance program 100%. They had no reason to enter in foreclosure, and the bank had no reason to foreclose on them. So what if you purchased and you're not eligible for that forbearance program? Well, here in our market, we've appreciated 20%. So if you purchased a home last year, you're up on your purchase 20% this year. So before your home would be even foreclosed on, typically a 2-year process like I covered earlier, you'd be able to sell your home and get out from under it. So because of our market and how it's climbing, you're able to take advantage of that market. If you lost your job, if you weren't able to apply for forbearance, then you're able to sell your home at a higher value than you purchased it for. As of right now in our market, there are, and I'm talking our entire market, not just St. Augustine, we're talking Jacksonville, Palm Coast, all Northeastern Florida Association of Realtors. We have 4 foreclosures and 9 short sale homes available. So if you're looking for a specific home in a specific community with, maybe a pool or a certain amount of bedrooms or square footage, you're really looking for a needle in a haystack. And also you're also betting against the market and what the market is telling us, that the market is going to keep going up, and you're thinking that it's going to crash at a certain point. So you're really waiting for a possible time that couldn't come for maybe 3, 4, 5 years. On top of that, you're also waiting for that home with a certain amount of square footage and a pool to be a foreclosure within St. Augustine. Now, this may make sense for you, this may not make sense for you, but that's just one of the realities of our world here today, is that a foreclosure in a short sale situation is just not something that's viable for your everyday buyer. There's just not enough of them, and with our market and how it's appreciating, how could we have any more foreclosures when you could literally buy a house today and in 2-3 months sell it for more than you purchased it? That's just how fast things are moving here. Guys, and that is it. I hope you got a little bit of value out of this video and learned more about foreclosures here in St. Augustine. If you did, please do me that solid and tap that subscribe button below, like the video, and comment if you have any additional questions that I may be able to answer. We do have new videos coming out every single week, so if you are getting a little bit of value, if you're looking to learn more about St. Augustine, please tap that subscribe button. And if you have any additional questions, reach out to me with a call, a text, or an email. They all go directly to my cell phone, so I'm the guy answering it. Call, text, or email, I'm here for you.